Hey, welcome everyone. Um, if you want to be able to follow along with us for this workshop, we're going to be using the software called Fusion 360. There's a free student version, and you can get it. I'm going to send a link. But yeah, this is a quick install, and if you guys want to, by the way, hey Mo, how are you? Yeah, it's a quick install. If you guys want to follow along this workshop, just the link is there. I'm going to wait, till 11:05 so we can start. But I hope you guys are having a good hackathon, and I hope your projects are going well. But yeah, this is the software. It should look like this. Yeah, as we get closer to 11:05, we're gonna start. I'm honestly interested if any of you guys have used Fusion before. There's two main types of 3D modeling software. One of them is more like hardware based, engineering based, and it's this kind. Usually AutoCAD, Fusion 360, SolidWorks. That's the kind of stuff you build with that. If you're more into, for example, developing models for games or maybe art work or stuff, then Blender, Maya, it's more common. But yeah, since we're a hardware program, we're focusing on this, and we'll be building a real model that can be useful for a real use case scenario, right? Um, so I'm super excited. It's definitely a little tricky to get started with Fusion. So I'm gonna go slow, and if you guys have the software, which I linked it in the chat, um, should be a quick download. If you can download it before the workshop starts, it's gonna be like 4 minutes from now. Yeah, happy to see so many people. Um, but yeah, we'll just wait. So I just hope you guys can download the software and stuff. yeah, just a couple more minutes and then we'll start. This is the kind of stuff that you use. For example, if you have a 3D printer, right? Maybe you need to print a part for your next robot or maybe your project. It's very common to see Fusion 360 or SolidWorks, not only as a hobbyist but also in the industry. So whatever skills you learn here, especially if you're more engineering oriented, can definitely pass by and be useful in other areas. So just gonna wait one more minute. If anyone has any troubles downloading Fusion, just let me know. I'm super happy to be teaching this though. By the way, I hope you guys' day is going good. I know that we don't really sleep that much during hackathons, but I mean, I hope you guys are having fun. Man, that is very relatable. Even though I'm not hacking, I mean, just presenting workshops and helping people out. It's a whole experience, but it's super interesting. Well, I'm gonna get started. So, like, the case scenario that we're gonna build our model for is, imagine we have two rods and they're separated, right? But I want to create a model that's gonna help me join them together in a very secure way. So I don't know, maybe I just don't have access to a longer rod or whatever, and I really need to do this, right? So what you would do is you pull out Fusion 360, right? And let's design a very rough sketch of the example that I'm telling you guys. So here you see Fusion 360, it looks like it's all blank and you cannot really do anything. Well, in reality, you have to check the options that you have up here. And for now, since we just want to create a simple rod, I'm just going to go here to create. And then you're going to find a cylinder option. Now, anytime you want to create anything on Fusion 360, this is going to pull up. And what this is there for is to give you the access by which you want to build the item that you're doing, right? So in this case, I want my rod to be in this axis. Then I can select the center of it, and I'm going to make this rod be 5 centimeters. And this is like the rough sketch of the rod, and the rod I'm going to make it be a little longer, like 16 centimeters. So imagine that in the middle of this, I had a cut, right? These were two different rods. Actually, I mean, I can just make it. Let me just make another rod here. So cylinder, I'm gonna start here. It's gonna have the same, but it's gonna be different. And here in join, so when I'm creating it, it's gonna actually wanna merge together this rod with the previous one. I'm just gonna click the operation and I'm gonna click new body. So as I finish this, I am left with two different rods and I wanna find a way to like join them together, right? So that's what we're gonna do now. But yeah, for now I'm actually gonna delete this rod because it's just gonna be a little annoying to have it there. So you can see how here you have bodies. Body 1 is one of the rods, body 2 is the other. You should be able to just delete a whole body like that. You can also rename them, which is going to be useful. Main rod, right? So if you want to create a shape that is not like a very basic shape like this, or like a cube or any of these options, I mean, this is pretty cool. But if you want to make your own shape, you have to sketch it. And there's the option to create a sketch. The way that sketches work is it's going to put you in a 2D plane. And there's like an example you guys can see where you can actually design what your shape is going to look like in 2D. And once you're done with that, then you can extrude it and make it 3D. So I'm going to press and create sketch. And my axis is going to be the same as before here. Now for this, I'm going to go select the circle, the option that says center diameter circle. I'm going to press on the center of here, and I'm going to create a circle of the same size as my rod. This is going to be for reference, right? Then I'm going to create a circle that's actually going to be what's going to be holding onto the rod. And this is going to be a little bigger. In this case, it's 6 centimeters. And finally, I'm going to create the hinges for this. So the hinges are going to be very simple, very basic. It's just 2 small hinges like that. Like now, this you may look at this and it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? But it's gonna make more sense once we actually extrude it. And oh, a final thing, this is very important as well. I want to create a line that's cutting together in between these two. And all of this is gonna make sense now, because once I'm finished with this sketch, I can actually press the button to finish the sketch. And I'm gonna be left with this 2D object here that has a bunch of sections in it, right? Well, for now, let me get rid of my main rod. And I'm not going to actually delete it. I'm just going to click the eye icon, which is going to hide it. Like that, you hide it, right? Let me try and handle the bottom section of what I want to create now. So I'm just going to select the sections that I care about. And then I'm going to be able to press the extrude button. I'm going to extrude this for 5 centimeters. Like that. And just like that, we created this shape. That once you have the rod, you can start seeing what it's going to do, right? We're going to have this shape, and then we're going to have a similar one on top. And both these shapes together are going to be able to hold the rods together. By the way, guys, if you guys have any questions, I know it's very tricky sometimes to get started with this. Especially if you want to move around, I recommend, honestly, having a mouse for this software. If you press shift and then the mouse wheel, you're able to move like this. If you just press the mouse wheel, you're able to move it like this. And if you select like that, it selects the objects, and then you can do it like this instead. Like that. But yeah. So we have our basic bottom section. Now I want to create a way to mount this into another thing, right? So this item here should have something that I can mount to another place. Well, in order to do that, I'm going to create here in construct, I'm going to create an offset plane on the bottom of this. And this plane is going to be about that tall. Yeah. So we created a plane under our main item. Now let me go again to the sketch view. And oh, another thing up here, up to the right, you're actually able to select if you want to see the front, if you want to see the item from the top, from the sides. It's pretty cool like that. And I want it like this for now. So I'm gonna create a sketch, and this is gonna be in this plane. It's gonna be a rectangle, and it's gonna go from here. Okay, actually it should be a little smaller from there to from there to here, more or less. And if I see where my rectangle is located, that's a little high, right? But it doesn't matter for now. Oh, actually, okay, it does matter. My bad. I'm gonna get out of this sketch by finishing it. I'm gonna use the plane that we created on the bottom instead. That was my mistake. I chose the wrong plane. So you go here, and now the rectangle is gonna start from the bottom instead. So if I finish the sketch and I press my rectangle and I extrude like I did before, I can make it go up. Now there's something happening here. You see, when I extrude it, it's deleting my item. Why is that? Well, when you're extruding something, there's many modes to extrude. One of them is cut, another one is intersect, which it only puts whatever it intersects. They also have join, and for this case I want the join one, because now I can have this part here that I can use for mounting, right? So yeah, let me join it and press OK. That's cool. Now if I'm gonna mount it down here, I want to put a couple of screw holes in there, right? So if I press here, then you can make it completely be on the side, which is going to make your life easier. There's going to be a bottom here for hole. If you press it, you can select a face that you want to put the hole in, and then the location of it. I'm going to put one of them here, and then the size is going to be, well, the size that I had before seemed okay. So let me try it again. Should be fine like that. And then you can see the length, which is also should be fine like that. And then I'm gonna press enter. And that's how we create our hole. I'm gonna make another one here. And I'm gonna press enter. So that's how we could mount this from the bottom. I mean, if we look at our original rod, we're getting there, right? Now I want to focus on the top section. Actually, well, before I focus on the top section, I'm going to show you guys something as well. These surfaces are functional, but usually you want to avoid having very sharp edges in your models. Not only because it's difficult to print, but also it just doesn't look as nice. There's an option called Filet, and it allows you to change from a very sharp corner to a very smooth kind of like curve. And the way it works is you just select the corners that you want to work in, and then you put a radius value. In my case, it's going to be 0.75, and yeah, just like that. You're okay. I'm pressing the wrong button. That looks a little better, right? It's more like natural, organic, rather than just very straight lines. And you can do the same for many places. You can do the same here. And this is gonna make it look nicer. 0.75, and here 0.75, and now your whole shape is very smooth. And since I'm at it, I may as well also put it here. 0.75. Actually, this one could probably be smaller, but this is not a good angle to see. Sometimes you just have to stop it and like try a new angle. Yeah, I feel like 25 may be better, or 50. Yeah, 50 and 50. This is very different from 3D modeling for other tools like Blender, because here you're basically handling objects as you're not modeling vertices, but rather it's more like physical things. And then if you want to create a hole, you have to physically punch the hole out. And we'll see also like how to remove material and stuff a little later on. Yeah, this is the start of our solution to the problem. Now I want to create the top part that's going to close everything together. So how would I go through making that? Well, I mean, I'm also noticing that we're missing holes here and here, but I'm leaving that for a little later. You guys will see why. I'm gonna go ahead and create another sketch, and I'm gonna remove the rod. I'm gonna create another sketch in this plane. I'm gonna use the main circle as reference, the one that's 5. I'm gonna create another one that's 6, just so it matches with the one that we already have. And I'm gonna make 2 smaller circles on the sides. One of them and second of them. Finally, we'll also use a line in between. This is the same as we did for the first part, but now we're gonna do the top section. So after I have that going, then I am able to press on finish sketch. And I'm left with this right here. Now, since this is not really what we want, right? This is just a 2D drawing. You can select the parts of the drawing that you want and then extrude that. Now, there's going to be a problem though. If I extrude this right now, what's going to happen is, and you guys will see, this is going to try to cut or merge or any other crazy thing. Join them. We don't want to join them. These are different parts. Or cut them or intersect. What we're going to do is create a new body instead. New body. So now, even though they are in the same spot, these are two different elements. So if I get rid of this, we can see how they're two different elements. So yeah. Now, I mean, if you've ever seen any sort of hinge situation, you will know already that this is not really gonna work yet. We're gonna have to do a little more work to actually have a working hinge. But before that, I'm actually gonna just do the fillets here, just so yeah, that's something. If you select the whole surface instead of just a corner, you will have the fillet doing it for everything, which can get pretty wild. But yeah, usually you just want to select the intersections one by one. 75. Oh, I actually believe that was a 50. 50. And 50 over here. By the way, I have my Fusion 360 set up in centimeters. However, if you go to document settings up here and then units and you press on edit, you can change this to any unit you want. You can do inches, meters, millimeters. I know that by default it's set to millimeters. I just don't like it. I like centimeters better. But if you prefer inches or foots, you could do that as well. Um, so yeah, so far we have two parts, and actually, if I select this top part and I rotate it and I select the axis to be this, we can see how. Okay, let me also. We can see how this is gonna work, right? We have our two rods, and then we're gonna join them together, and then we're gonna lock them in like this. And you could I mean, you could design this part and make it out of aluminum, CNC it, but something that's going to be more common is to actually just 3D print this. And I mean, by the end of this, I would be able to actually 3D print this model that I designed and have it physically in front of me, which is what's so great about 3D printing technology and for prototyping. But yeah, so that's more or less how that's gonna work, right? So let's keep working on it. Let's make it actually happen. Um, the way that I'm gonna handle the hinge here is by having a cut in the middle that's gonna separate the bottom part from the top part. So for now, I'm gonna actually get rid of the top part, and I'm gonna create a new sketch in this plane. Let me make sure that's the right plane. Yeah, it is. And then I'm gonna create a rectangle, right? The rectangle is gonna go from here to here. Oh, I'm in inches? No way. Yeah, from there to there. Okay, let me get rid of this. And here. Centimeter. Yeah, you can. That's the cool thing about it. You can 3D print directly as an yeah, here. Basically here, 3D print, it will give you an STL. But if you press export, you will also have STL here. I mean, I could export it right now. Could export it right now. Like maybe just by 3D print. And then I could actually then you put the STL file into the slicer, and yeah. I mean, here's just telling you kind of some options, but it's basically done through there. The thing is to do there to okay, 1 second. I need to cancel this. To export as an STL, you will have to go through their cloud service, which you just log in and that's it. But that's just something about Fusion 360. I'm sure there's another methods. I just don't really know them right now. But you grab the STL file, you put it into your slicer, and then you're able to print it. No problems. Okay, I just got lost. Oh, okay. 1 second. So yeah, back to where it was. Let me grab this plane here and create a cut from here to here. And actually, you just want to make it a little wider. Like that. Yeah, that's good. By having the by having that there, now I'm actually able to extrude it as a cut. So I'm going to be able to open this hole that I wanted. However, since my plane happened to be in the middle of the circles, if I extrude it one way, it's only going to do half of the circle. So you can fix this by changing the direction of the extrusion to be 2 sides, and then the bottom side can be messed with as well. And I'm going to do the bottom side to be 0.75, which I find to be a good middle ground. So that's how this is how it would look, right? Now if we put the top part in, you can start seeing like what we're planning here, right? Now let's handle the top part. And we're gonna do it the same way we did before. Let's just find it here. Then again, we create a sketch in this plane. I select the rectangle. Okay, something interesting, right? Before I create a rectangle in the middle because I wanted to get rid of the middle section. But now for the top, I want to get rid of the bottom and lower section. Sorry, the upper and lower section. So the upper one is going to be here and here. And this is the bottom one. So what I've done is I just created 2 planes that I'm going to be able to extrude from both sides, of course, up and down. And for the up, I'm going to go a little bit more up. Actually, 0.75 again. Oh, okay, let's try that again. Yeah, 0.5, double-sided, 0.5, 1. Okay, so this should be 0.75. Is that good? Let me see. Yeah, I think so. That's pretty good. So just press enter. And now we're left with our 2 parts. These 2 parts are going around the tube. And we kind of are able to visualize how it's going to work by selecting the axis to be this. And then we're basically going to be able to open it and then close it, right? Yet there's still some stuff to do. For example, opening the holes in between both sides and making a closing mechanism. So yep, let's try that, right? I'm gonna cancel the rotation. I'm actually gonna do the fillet. Okay, this is the bottom. I'm just gonna change the name. Bottom, and then this is top. Top. I get rid of bottom from now, and I'm actually gonna use the fillet function to smooth this out. It's coming out great. Thanks, man. So I have a problem here, and it's basically that tiny little, and that's because we didn't actually extrude it correctly, our extrusion. So we need to actually go a little higher with the extrusion. See if I can go back, fix that issue. Yeah. I go up actually 0.8. By doing that, I don't have that issue anymore. So for For going up, it's going to be 0.8, and I just extrude it to be 0.8. And then I do double-sided so I can go down as well and get rid of the rest. Perfect. So this is going to be an okay. And I have to change the names again. Bottom, up. Now we can use the fillet without any issues. We should be able to here. Oh. Okay, let's try that again. Oh my god. Let's try it once more. There. And here as well. Okay. There. Finally, here as well. So 0.30. There we go. Now we're able to go back and show the bottom and the top, and everything is still kind of working out. What I want to do now is to drill the hole in between my, in between the hinge. So let's do that. I'm gonna get rid of the main rod, and for this part I'm gonna try and see if I can do this together. Actually no, let's just do it separately. So there's an option here, and we already used it once, to create holes. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. It's easier if you just press the surface that you want to do the hole in. That is gonna actually like help you out find the center, like that. And if you see it from the side, you have to extend it as long as you need to. And just like that, I'm gonna be able to press OK, and then we're gonna have a hole. I'm gonna do the same for this side. Let me extend it. It's already extended. Okay, we have it. Now let's do the bottom part. And I lost it. Oh, here it is. Our hole here. Oh, you see, that was a problem. I didn't make it all the way through. Let's try it again. Like that. And the same here. And Fusion actually helps you find what the center is. I mean, it's super, like it literally snaps. And you can make the hole be bigger or smaller, depending on the screw size that you have. And like that, we have the top and the bottom. So this figure right here would technically work for that. I mean, ideally you would have it be like this, and this would be two rods in between, and you would connect this together. A problem that okay, so actually before extending that, I noticed an issue, right? Because when I'm extending this, it's trying to join everything together. You always have to make sure that if you're doing this by itself, you just do a new body instead. And that will fix the issue. Top, bottom. Okay. Now I have these two rods and I can join them together now without any problems like that. And yeah. Oh, I still have a lower rod. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna grab this lower rod, this higher one. Oh my god. The main one, the lower one, I can combine, then I press OK, and then they become part of the same. I struggled there for a second. And Yeah, I think so far this is some of the main. I mean, you guys can see like some of the main use cases or scenarios. Also, the tools that I kept bringing back and using again. You guys can already tell more or less. Also, how this differs from other types of 3D modeling like Blender. Because here you're basically creating shapes and you know changing these shapes and merging them together, or removing the shape from the other in a way. If you guys have any questions, let me know. This is definitely going to be one of the shorter workshops, but yeah, this should be at the end. And if I want to export it, I will have to log in into my account. But yeah, you guys could try it too. There's definitely a lot of material out there on how to use Fusion 360. However, personally, if you're hacking and you want something quick, I also recommend this website. Oh, that's the wrong. So recommend this website called Thingiverse. And here you can find many things. You can find like, I don't know, robot arm. Imagine you want to create a robot arm for your hack. Well, you can use a pre-made frame for it, and you would skip all the trouble. Usually, you want to go through this route if the stuff that you're creating is custom and you really don't find it anywhere. Because in terms of like saving time, this is gonna be very helpful, and everything here is open source for everyone to grab and print. A robot hand as well. But all of these things, they were designed with software like Fusion 360. So it depends on how creative you get and how far you want to go. You could make stuff like this with Fusion as well, especially mechanical parts like this ones. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys have a good hack. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can always drop them in the chat. I'm going to stay here for a couple minutes. But yeah, if not, you guys can, get started and make something cool. Good luck, guys.